Good morning, everybody. Unfortunately, our video that we recorded during the event for D15 didn't work. Technology lets me down. So these are the things you have to deal with when handling technology. So I'm just going to record the self-care video again. Now I will be looking over to the side to check on my notes as I record this. So please forgive me if I look off camera. So today's talk was about self-care at any time of the year. And just to introduce myself again, my name is Deborah Byrne. I'm a psychologist from County Wexford, and my website is www.deborahbyrnepsychologyservices.com. I have a lot of blogs up there if you want to go on many topics, so if you wanted to go and check them out, you can. I will give you this video and the notes, so you can read along the notes, take your own notes as you listen to the video, or you can record your own notes as we go along. So I'll try and do this as quickly as possible so we're not hanging around on video for too long. So what does self-care mean? Well, self-care means relaxation, sleep, taking a break, speaking up when you need to, writing it down, and some self-compassion, nurturing yourself, and knowing your rights and entitlements. Now, I'll go through each one of those separately now for you. So the first one is relaxation, and it is to breathe. So stress and anxiety causes problems for work and for family issues. The pain can be extreme. Pain can be extreme, and therefore it can have a stressful effect on your body. Headaches, migraine, anxiety, depression, any other mental health issues, sleep problems, health problems, including heart conditions, and that's just to name a few problems that can cause stress on the body and stress on the mind. So just to also say that stress has a positive role to play in our lives. We need it when we need to react to emergency situations. We need to be alert when we're doing an exam. We need to be, if we're in a meeting, if we have a deadline, or anything like that. Stress is important for that, but we also need to relax. So the best way to relax is to do some mindfulness. That's what I would recommend, or some breathing techniques. The 7-11, I think I discussed that during the meeting. It was the 4-8. You could take 4 breaths in very smoothly, and then hold for 2, a count of 2, and then breathe out for a count of 8. As long as you are breathing out for longer than you are breathing in, then it makes your body automatically relax. The brain is set up that when we breathe in, it thinks, oh, I have to get alert and I have to be ready to do something. But when we breathe out, it sends a signal to our brain very quickly. All these are done on, small microseconds, to relax. So when you make the breath longer when you breathe out, it means you will relax more. So if you're doing a breathing technique, say we say 4-8 to begin with, it's nice to build it up to 7-11. We sit down comfortably somewhere, a chair, an armchair, wherever we're sitting. Just make sure you're comfortable and you're warm, and you can set a timer on your phone for about 3 to 5 minutes, and simply breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. So we go hold for 2, and then we breathe out for 8. So very slowly. In my head, I just counted there. I went 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2, 1, 2, and then breathe out for 8. And that was just exhale for 8. It's a very simple technique. It's very effective. It's well known to be an effective relaxation technique. You can take it anywhere with you. You can do it on the bus. You can do it in the car. You can, as long as you're not driving, you can do it, go to the loo. If you're out at an event and you need to get away from people for 5 minutes, take yourself off to the loo, out into the corridor, and just close your eyes and do your 4-8 technique, and it'll help calm you down. Now, moving on, I'm just going to go on to the next slide, which will be slide 7. And this is to take a break. So remember, it's okay to take a break at any time. Now, we meet family. I was talking about Christmas when I met you originally, and we were talking about festivities and needing a break from people. And just to say, there are other events during the year where you're going to be loaded up with a lot of people. It could be a meeting you're at. It could be an event you go to. It could be a film. It could be anything that you've gone to and you suddenly realise, oh, I'm a bit panicky. I need a break. So take yourself out of the room, and that's okay. Family, we meet at communions, confirmations, weddings, baptisms, all sorts of things. We meet family during the year, but that we may not meet at any other time of the year, and it can be a bit overwhelming, particularly if you don't get along with that person. So it's okay to walk away and take a break and don't interact with them. Try and avoid them if they're very negative towards you. You don't have to attend everything. You don't have to attend anything at all, but it is good to attend. We are social creatures and we do need to interact face to face. Social media is lovely, but we are made up to interact, and on a face-to-face basis, we need that. Rest and sleep during the day. Have a nap if that's what you need. If you know you're going to be facing something that's difficult, maybe you need to take an extra nap or an extra long sleep. You may need to lie in that day. So factor that into your day, and that's okay. Always, always, always put your needs first. Your needs, it's your life. You put your own needs first. Please do that. Always put your own needs first. We're terrible for putting other people's needs first and thinking we should do that 100% of the time. No, we don't. It's like putting your own oxygen mask on the plane. You put your own oxygen mask on first, and then you help somebody else. So always, that's what I mean by taking a break. These self-care tips I'm talking about today is all about putting your oxygen mask on first and foremost, and then you can help somebody else. So this is for not just for people with disabilities, this is for their carers too. So I would hope that you look after yourselves. Now our next slide is all about writing. So writing it down in a journal or on a piece of technology. You get the thoughts out of your head. You get your to-do lists out of your head. And why we do that is to give our brain a break. It actually helps you sleep better. So if you have a journal, make sure it's away from, if it's a paper journal, make sure it's locked up where other people can't read it. If it's on technology, make sure it's password encoded. Don't ask me how to do that. I don't use technology that much. Write it down, get it out of your head. No matter how you think, feel, whatever it is, just get it out of your head at the end of the day. It will help you sleep better. It tells your brain that it's okay. It tells that doing part of our brain, the action part of our brain, that it's okay to take a break, that I need a break, I need to take some time out, and when I need that information, it's there. I can go back to it, I can get it, and I will be able to access it. So it tells the brain, you can switch off now. It's okay to take a break. And that's how this helps you sleep better. To-do lists and not to-do lists. Okay, I mentioned the not to-do list at the meeting. Now, a not to-do list is all about where you, first off, you make a list of everything you have to do or everything you think you have to do in your life every day or during the week or during the month. And then you analyse it and you say, is this really mine to do? Is this my to do? Or is this about somebody else. And if it is to do with somebody else, well then please hand it back. You're not doing them any favours by taking on their jobs and their responsibilities. You're enabling them. So please take that off your list, hand it back, and let them, if they don't do it, well then they suffer the consequences, not you. Don't cover for somebody else in work or wherever you are. Don't cover for somebody else. Let them do their own job, live their own life, basically. That is what you're doing. You're doing them disservice. You're not allowing them to live their own life. After that, scan down the list again a second time and see if there's something on it that is never, ever, ever going to get done. It's not going to do. You're never going to do it. Take it off. Just let it go and say, okay, that's not going to happen. Just let it go. Okay? And then you should be left with a proper to-do list. Your proper, what you really want to do, what is really your responsibility. And go from there. And that is a good exercise to do maybe a few times a year and see, have you taken particularly taking on somebody else's stuff to do, get rid of it. It's not yours, so please do yourself a favour and let it go. The other thing I would say is when you're journaling and you've gotten rid of all that stuff out of your head, whether it's negative or positive, always finish up with at least 3 things you're grateful for that day. There's always something that we're grateful for, that we have we have lovely grandchildren maybe, or our children are doing well, or something has happened. The very fact that you're breathing is something to be very, very grateful for. So it can be the very simplest thing that something went very, very small. It means the world to you. Somebody smiled at you. It was a lovely feeling when they smiled at you. They made eye contact. And just for that moment, you weren't the only person in the world. That is something to be very, very grateful for, particularly in this day and age when even people my age are going around with their phones. I'm a grandmother, by the way. So particularly my age, we're not interacting. We're on our phones. We're spending too much time heads down. We're out having coffee and our heads are down and we're not having coffee with somebody else. We're on our phone. So try and also make that a conscious effort to, if you're out with somebody, spend time with them. Talk to them. Ask them how they're doing. Talk about your day. Talk about how things are going for you too. Let go of the mobile phone for half an hour, 15 minutes, half an hour, and have that cup of coffee. Try that every day. Let that go. So I'm just going to move on now to the next slide, and the next slide is self-compassion. I'm trying to call out the slides to you so you can follow along. Self-compassion is all about forgiving ourselves. We're great at forgiving other people, particularly if you were raised like me. It was all about forgive the other person. But what we fail to remember is to forgive ourselves first. We have to forgive ourselves. We have to put ourselves on that list too. So if there is something that has happened, no matter what it was, you have to start forgiving yourselves and let it go. It's okay to do that. Guilt and shame can keep you tied up in knots for decades and keep you trapped in a life that you don't want to live. So please try and forgive yourself. Now, when I talk about forgiving others is it's not about reconciliation. Sometimes there are people that have done something to us and we can't forgive them. When we think of that, we think of reconciliation. Reconciliation requires both people. And it means that they are truly sorry, which if they have done something awful, they probably won't be able to be truly sorry. But they are, we forget that these people need to be that way to be truly sorry. And we know, if you're in that state of mind, that you know that these people are never going to be sorry, then that's reconciliation, okay? Forgiveness, you can forgive somebody and put the ghosts of the past behind you and let it go. But you never have to meet that person. You never have to ask them for an apology. You may need help with that, particularly if it was something very, very difficult. And I don't want to dwell on this too long because I know sometimes it can be a difficult situation. But if that is the case, if it is a very difficult situation, please reach out and ask for help. You will have so much more serenity and peace of mind and a better life when you've let these people go and let the ghosts go of the past. It's okay to not feel okay, and it's okay not to join in if you don't want to. And I would also say that it's okay not to have to put a happy face on all the time. You don't have to feel guilt, ashamed, or anything else for being just you. So remember that you are good enough just as you are. Always remember that, and to ask for help if you need it. That there is always somebody who will listen to you and help you as much as possible if that's what you need. So I'm just going to move on now to nurture. So the nurturing part is probably what you all think of as self-care. The nurturing part is doing our basic self-care, which is showering, eating 3 meals a day, at least healthy meals. It's okay to have the snacks, small snacks, it's your life, so you have to decide what you want to eat, okay? Get outside and exercise as well is important. But if you can get outside, even particularly during the winter time, or sit close, as I said before, if you can sit close to a big window or those, a French door or something where there's a lot of more light coming in than sitting inside the room. Try and sit there for about 15 minutes if it's raining. If it isn't raining, wrap up warm and get outside. Just 15 minutes, because that 15 minutes will make a big difference to your vitamin D levels, and that makes a big difference to your mood. So try and get outside and have a look at nature around you too, because that can be uplifting. Just listening to the birds or the wind, or I know a lot of you live now in the city, so even the traffic, listen to the traffic, the noise of the traffic. Just close your eyes and just listen to that traffic. Let it go by. It's sometimes that can be a soothing sound, sometimes it's annoying, but find something that you enjoy and do it. Go down to the park. 15 minutes is all it takes every day. It's very important for your mental health to do that. The other thing would be, as I said, regular showers, washing your clothes, changing your bed linen, eating regular meals, sleeping, and I've given you some hints and tips on the sleeping with relaxation and writing it all down. Have a hobby and interest. You're more than just work or interacting with your family. Have your own interest is important too. We need creativity in our lives. It's well proven now that creativity will help you in terms of your job and productivity, and having that downtime is very important. It lets you think outside the box. So if you have a problem, write it down in your journal and then go off and do something else. Sleep on it. They always say sleep on it, and it's true. If you do those things, if you let it go, usually you'll find the answer to what you're looking for. If not, discuss it during hobby time with some mates. It's a great time to make some friends when you have a hobby. And other people, there's a lot of local classes that you can take up. And I would recommend them. I would recommend any of the VCs, night classes, anything like that. It's not just for the hobby, it's also for the social interaction. So don't limit yourself. I've seen plenty of people with disabilities doing different skills at different workshops during the VC nights. The teachers are wonderful. They're very helpful, very accommodating, and they will try and modify the class to suit you as well. So don't think just because you have a disability that you should limit yourself and not join in these classes. You very much can, and your carer is, if that's what you need to do, bring your carer with you. Then the teachers are lovely. They are very accommodating. I've seen them do wonderful things with students and in modifying things if that's what's needs to happen. So go off, get a hobby, get an interest, and enjoy yourself, and use it too to make new friends and to have just a social evening out. It's a great way to have a social evening out. Just the way the D15 group meet up. It's a great way. It's not just about meeting up. It's not just about being active in your community. It's not just about promoting disability. It's about meeting up. So I will mention Able Hour, #Able Hour as well on a Thursday night. It's great fun. We don't just talk about disabilities. We talk about other things. And it's a great way of making a friend online. Yes, it is online, and I have said you need to be interactive face to face, but it's okay to also get involved online. So try out Twitter and try out Facebook groups as well, and they are a good lifeline for people. I've said meet up with friends and family, but make sure they're only positive. Negative vampires need not apply. So if you have a negative vampire in your life, now's the time to maybe let them go. If it's a family member, that can be really, really difficult. So I would say try and cut back on your contact. Cut back on phone calls, cut back on physical contact. If they are, they enter the room and they are life sucking. If they are sucking the life out of you, they're a negative vampire. It's all about them. You need to cut back because they'll just drain your soul. So if they're a friend, they're not really that good of a friend. So let them go. It's time to let them go. If you're scared about doing it, just cut back the time, lengthen the time between phone calls, lengthen the time between contact until it fizzles out itself. And look after yourself. That's what I would say. So keep your journal and your gratitude list, and then have treats and rewards. Now, treats and rewards. Treats are to be given frequently, so every day, and they cost nothing or very little. So a cup of coffee. Okay, that'd be about the right price. A reward is for achieving something. Always, always, always acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small. They should be acknowledged and they should be rewarded. So rewards can be a bit more costly, and they, you generally might have to save up for them, but they are well worth it. And it's really, really important that you acknowledge all the good bits that you do, no matter how small they are. It tells your brain to look out for more positivity. It tells your brain to look out for more good things in life that's happening to you rather than all the negative stuff. And it changes your way of looking at the world and changes your way of looking at your own life, is when we acknowledge the positive rather than the negative. So please try and do that. Now I'm going to move on to rights and entitlements next. And the rights and entitlements is our last slide, number 12. And it's just to remind you that you should know your rights and entitlements. Unfortunately, people don't tell you what your rights and entitlements are. And that is why something like D15, Disability Leaders, is such a wonderful group. That is why Able Hour on Twitter is such a wonderful group. Because there are people there that have been where you are before. They know the rights and entitlements. If they don't, they will be able to go and find them for you. Always ask. There's no harm in asking. Make sure that you have your medical card. Make sure you have home help. Make sure you have assistance wherever you need it. If you're having trouble with housing, parking, or anything else, we're a pretty good group on Able Hour. We have been able to get people parking outside their own home, get it marked off. So I think that's, there are things that can happen. There are people there that can help you. So please ask. Don't be afraid. Don't sit at home and think, oh, I can't ask for help. You can. It takes a huge amount of courage to do that. I know, but you have that courage. You have that ability. Please do it. Don't just sit at home and not ask. Make sure you're getting all your financial aid as well as your medical card. So sometimes we don't know that we're entitled to packages that are available in Ireland. We don't even know that those packages are available to us and we're struggling financially. So please ask, again, ask, what is available. If you know of somebody else too, most of you guys are all leaders and activists, and what I would say to you is, if you know somebody in your community, even next door, that could do with a helping hand, it's no harm in picking up a leaflet, or if they're very private people, you might just pick up the leaflet and put it through their door. But if you know them really well and you know they're struggling, then you already have that information. You have already accessed that information. You are getting your rights and entitlements, your medical card, your financial needs met, your assistance at home, whatever it is. Go and help somebody else. You were there where they are now. So pass it on, pay it forward, as they say. It's a good thing to have. So I will just, big summary, right? Okay. So the summary sheet just very quickly says, learn to relax, take some form of meditation. It's very important. Do all you can to improve your sleeping arrangements. And what I failed to mention was that, sorry, this is going to cut out now in a few minutes. What I failed to mention was that cut out all the technology after a certain hour at night, and to make sure to take a break. Speak up for what you want in life. Write everything down. Make sure to do that not to-do list. Nurture yourself and practice good self-care. Show yourself some compassion and know your rights and entitlements. I would just like to say thank you very much for having me before Christmas. It was wonderful to meet you all, and I hope to meet you all again soon. So I'll just say goodbye. But if you have any questions, remember I'm on Able Hour on Thursday nights. You can also check me out on Facebook. And I have a Deborah Byrne is my personal page. If you like my personal page, you'll be then able to private message me. If you like me on Twitter, you can direct message me so I can answer questions in private. But if you have questions that you don't mind anybody else seeing, I will pop this video up on my Dbpsychology Facebook page, and you can post questions below it and I'll try and get in and answer as many as I can. Thank you very, very much again. It was lovely meeting you all. Bye.